Canon R7. Why would you even consider buying this camera in 2025? There's lots of cameras on the market, but which one is right for you? Is this the camera for you? This Canon R7 could be an excellent choice for many photographers, regardless if they are total beginners or even an experienced pro. This camera has got a lot to offer. It is the most expensive APS-C size sensor camera from Canon. It has more than a full-frame camera sensor called APS-C. Nothing wrong with that, and a lot of photographers actually prefer using these than the full-frame for many reasons. When most of entry-level or even mid-pro level cameras have 24 million pixel resolution sensors these days, kind of standard, this is 32.5 million pixels. It does not mean that it produces better quality or sharper images. It means that it gives you bigger size images, dimension-wise. That gives you more room to crop in, for example. This and the APS-C sensor combined make this camera a really good choice of camera for wildlife, sports, or street photography. Why? Because using any full-frame lens on it, you get 1.6 times crop. The sensor surface is smaller, so it covers less of the full frame's field of view. That gives more reach with telephoto lens, for example, and then you can crop in a little bit more and still end up with decent resolution images. So for example, 400mm lens becomes 625mm and so on, so you get better reach. Yes, you can use APS-C crop with full frame cameras within the full frame cameras, but this is smaller. The dual pixel CMOS AF2 focusing engine. I have no idea what it means, but all I know that it works extremely well. This is autofocusing system that nobody can complain about. Really easy to understand modes, easy to set up and use. I particularly like auto subject detection in wide mode. This is a way above average when comparing it to other camera brands on the market now, and I am using Sony's on a regular basis. This is as good as, if not better. Up to 30 frames per second burst mode makes it possible to capture fast-moving subjects like birds or sports and don't miss that split-second moment. Also built-in stabilization IBIS. This is as good as seen on many pro full-frame cameras. This hugely helps to achieve sharper results when shooting handheld in low light, for example, when you do need to use slower shutter speeds. Works also great when filming with this camera. Stabilization is very good. Fully weather sealed, which makes it more usable not only on a rainy day, but also in more humid climate. One thing that you don't see that weather sealing, but certainly gives a peace of mind if you get caught out shooting in the rain or you live, like me, in UK when it rains a lot. It packs a punch when it comes to video, quality-wise and available formats too. 4K 60p uncropped and cropped, like light and pro versions. Uncropped is definitely slightly worse quality, and the crop applies 1.81 crop on top of that standard APS-C sensor 1.6 times crop. It could be slightly limiting if you don't have wide enough lenses to compensate for that huge crop. Video quality it delivers is very good. You even get Canon C-Log flat color profile to give maximum color grading capability as found with bigger and higher class cameras. Paired with right lens, it can be very good, solid video performer. The camera size also makes it ideal for vlogging or content creation in general. Overall, R7, this camera, is not a beginner or inferior camera. It can be used in fully auto, but it offers all controls and tools that you find on professional cameras, and it really delivers great results across the board. One question that a lot of beginners will ask is it an easy camera to use? The answer is yes. This camera allows you to start shooting with it straight out of the box in fully auto. Nothing wrong with that. But there is so much more to this camera than the auto though. After spending nearly 2 decades shooting mostly with pro full-frame cameras, I found myself right at home with this in my hands, which I didn't expect at all. I also do not shoot usually Canon. This is a camera that is very easy to navigate and operate. The biggest difference is, if you are coming from pretty much any other brand, are the shooting modes. This is very Canon specific. What usually is called shutter priority or aperture priority, and is usually labeled intuitively S for shutter priority and A for aperture priority. Here, these are called TV, time value, and AV, aperture value. These semi-auto modes are for you to choose the aperture or the shutter, and the camera do all the rest. Also, with most of cameras, the manual aperture and shutter controls are with front and back wheels. Here, Canon came up with something different. The front wheel is in a standard position, where it usually should be, but the one on the back is in an unusual position and includes a navigation joystick with it. Different, but actually very intuitive and easy to use. And I'd love to see this solution on more of the cameras. I really like it. Like all APS-C size cameras, it is small but really well made and designed. It sits in hand very comfortably, even if you have larger hands like me. What about the lenses? No matter how good the camera is, you will do nothing with it without a lens. This is Canon using Canon mirrorless RF mount. There are many very good lenses in Canon's full frame catalog. A lot of them are really expensive too. Although Canon makes APS-C size sensor cameras like this one or R10, they do not make many APS-C specific lenses. There are 4 basic kit lenses available and that's it. You can use any older EF mount Canon lenses via the EF to RF adapter, but that combination only makes the camera unnecessarily larger. Luckily, Canon only recently allowed Sigma to make lenses for RF mount, and Sigma have gone right in. Their lenses are very high quality optically, small, and in comparison to Canon's own lenses, very affordable. First, there were 2 very practical f2.8 zooms, 10 to 18mm and 18 to 50, and just now they've added 16, 23, 30 and 56mm f1.4 primes to this lineup too. Canon is really missing out on this. These lenses are a perfect match for R7. They are not inferior and make it easy to achieve the legendary Canon look, the quality with those lenses and this camera. I've always been a fan of Sigma lenses, but I've never seen these APS-C ones deliver such a great looking images or video on different brands of the cameras as they do on this R7 or R10 that I have reviewed previously. Is this camera worth its high price tag? As I mentioned before, this is the most expensive APS-C Canon camera. It retails for £1,219 here in UK or $1,299 in US. You can actually buy full frame Canon RP or R8 for similar price or even less, but looking at the prices of its most direct competition from other brands like Sony A6700, Fujifilm X-T5 or Nikon Z52, they are all, with the exception of Nikon, more expensive than this. For the price, you get really good, very capable, solid, but smaller camera here. High image resolution and that 1.6 times APS-C crop can make it more desirable, not just for the beginners, but also for professionals who need a second or simply smaller camera for specific shooting situations like wildlife, sports, or travel. Conclusion, would I buy it? Hell yeah. Although it does not seem like an amazing camera when comparing it to its bigger full-frame brothers, believe me, it is more than capable of very good results regardless of your experience with cameras. Although Canon lenses are amazing, the full-frame ones are often too big and too expensive, less accessible for a lot of beginners or non-professionals. I don't know why Canon have decided to only make basic kit lenses for their APS-C cameras, but Sigma has got the answer with their affordable, high-quality lineup that are perfect for this camera. Overall, you don't have to spend a lot more than the price of the camera to start your photography journey and start being creative with it. You need one lens that is right for you and for what you want to capture, and you are ready to go. Really cool little camera that I recommend. And this is it. See you next time.